the state. All right, then I'll go to phone calls now. We'll start with Matthew, who's been on the hold for a very long time listener. I think you've heard from him, Mike. This is the guy with the fence. Let's let Matthew. Matthew, going to give
Matthew Payne.
Give you just a few seconds. Go ahead.
Hey, guys.
Hurry.
Mike, you said yesterday in the KLRU debate that council is responsible for assuring departments work well with citizens. How will either one of you make sure that happens? Because I've had a terrible time for a year and a half trying to get help.
To keep the listeners up, and Steve, if you want to know the history here, this gentleman put up a fence around his mobile home in his yard.
Trailer.
It was approved by early on by one of the code officers, and then later on other code officers, and the manager came along and said, no, it's not up to code, and made him change it after all.
Yeah.
And we're going to a jury trial next week on Election Day.
Good luck. Best of luck. So
yeah. Know Matthew's case very well. It's not just as simple as he built the fence and one guy said yes and one guy said no. He built a fence that's required by code. If you have a camper trailer, you have to surround it by a fence if it's on your property. He built the fence that was 3 feet off the ground that covered the portion of where the camper trailer is visible from.
Right.
Code, obviously, experience. Not only inside
there's also some nut jobs. There's some absolute nut jobs running for city council that scare the crap out of me, but are going to make great radio.
A fence per code is from the ground up to 6 feet of height. One inspector came out there, said, that looks good enough to me. The next time someone came out there, they said, that's not a fence per code. We've been working with Matthew and with staff. What Matthew wants me to do is rewrite the code specifically for his case. And, after reviewing it, this was a mistake by city staff, and city staff absolutely has to own that mistake. And we've done everything we can to hold them accountable. But I don't think we need to rewrite the code just for one instance.
I get it, but then you get KVU and some of the other TV stations showing dilapidated homes and homes that are boarded up that are true dangers to the neighborhood. And then you got one guy because people keep complaining in the neighborhood. I get it in my neighborhood. With the travel trailer, so I think that it's a matter of what are the priorities there.
Councilmember Mike Martinez, this is Shelby.
Hi, Shelby. Is Andy there?
May I ask who's calling?
This is Matthew Palmer.
Just a moment. I don't know if I just stepped in. Hey, Matthew?
Yeah.
I'm going to send you back to Councilmember Martinez, okay?
Okay.
Thanks.
Hey, Mr. Palmer.
Yes, sir.
I'm listening to your podcast right now.
Okay. Which one?
The one you just posted from this morning.
Oh.
I knew it was going to come on, but I had a 7:30 meeting, so I didn't get to listen again until I got back to the office.
I got you. Are you listening to the phone call with Chief McDonald?
Yeah, I already listened to that. Now I'm into the clip you took from the show.
Okay. So, I've got a meeting in 35 minutes. I don't understand why you or anybody from your office, Andy was going to be there.
Right.
How does this happen?
This, this is typical of the city manager. The city manager, not city manager, but the management staff, they don't want us attending their meetings, and they can't come down and meet with us unless they get permission from the city manager. It's what we deal with as well. It's not just a citizen issue. It is a pervasive issue here at the city that's a problem. But we're happy to meet with you. We're happy to work with you. It is our mistake, and I'm a council member and I own up to it, and ultimately it stops here. And so we're happy to figure this out, and if we have to direct the city manager, we'll do that.
Well, I guess, and that's what I'm kind of wondering is, nobody's given me an out except for comply, and there's nothing behind the fence. You know, and that's why, you know, Mr. Smart hasn't even been out here. But his staff, you know, from last year.
The photo that I saw on Facebook, has that now changed? Because it shows your travel trailer with some kind of fencing around it.
Yeah. And so the issue now is the gap at the bottom. But the supervisor that came out, instructed me when the fence was just lattice. He said at that point, he said, just put plywood behind the lattice. I don't care about the gap because there's no trailer there. And then I did that, and then when they came back out and said, well, we actually need you to add 2 more panels, just how it is. And I said, well, every time you come out, it costs me more money. And they said, no, this is going to be it. And we asked, you know, specifically about the gap. I mean, this is twice they brought up the gap, and they said the gap is fine because you can see all the way underneath it. It's not closing the gap isn't going to hide anything because there's nothing there. And at this point, I just don't trust them at all because they just keep changing their minds, you know. And my attorney, you know, the way he's looking at it is we had a verbal contract. I mean, when they said it, and I have that conversation recorded. So, you know, and I've told Carl Smart, I said, look, either give me my money back, and I'll build it exactly how you want it, or, you know, stand behind your people's word. You know, because what his thing is now is, oh, we made a mistake. My staff made a mistake. Well, how is it that the citizen is the only one left holding the bag for the mistake? You know, I did everything that the city told me to do.
Sure. And I completely understand the frustration. This is not the first time that, you know, the city staff has made mistakes and that we've ended up in difficult situations. But we've been able to figure them out before.
Okay.
I'm confident we can figure this out again. Unfortunately, you know, I can't force my staff or myself into a meeting that, you know, the city management staff doesn't want us in.
Okay.
They'll just cancel the meeting. They just won't meet with you. I think you need to go ahead and take that meeting. I think you need to lay it out there, and then walk down here to the second floor and come to my office and talk to us. And if I'm in a meeting, meet with my staff and walk us through the conversation and how it went. And ultimately, the council is the policymaker, and if we have to, you know, amend policy, or if we have to draft new policy, that's what we do. And it shouldn't have to take that. I totally agree with you that, you know, in many cases, common sense should be the prevailing approach. And sometimes that doesn't happen. And when that doesn't happen, I certainly don't have any concern with inserting myself as a council member and trying to find a common sense approach to resolving the situation.
Okay.
Please come down and talk to us as soon as you're done with your meeting, but please take that meeting. I mean, if you don't take that meeting, then, you know, all staff is going to say is he didn't meet with us.
Oh yeah. No, I'm putting on a shirt right now, and I'm about to head down there.
Okay.
So I will. I'll come to your office. McDonald's only giving me half an hour, so I'll be in your office at 10:30.
Okay, we'll be here. We're going to be in a staff meeting, so just come down to the second floor, and as soon as our staff meeting is over, we'll bring you back. We'll probably have a good 30 minutes as well to sit down with you.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. Bye-bye.
Office of Council Member Mike Martinez. This is Shelby.
Shelby, this is Matthew Palmer. Can I speak with Mike real quick?
What did you need, Matthew?
Well, I just need to talk to him very quick before he goes into his meeting. I was supposed to meet with him after my meeting that has just been canceled.
Oh, your meeting's just been canceled?
Yeah, by McDonald.
By McDonald. Okay, just a moment.
Okay.
This is Mike.
Hey, it's Matthew Palmer.
Hey, man.
Hey, yeah, Michael McDonald canceled the meeting.
Okay. Did he say why?
Yeah, let me read you the email from Alta. DCM McDonald asked I cancel this meeting. He said he read your Facebook post, no longer have an interest in meeting with you. You will need to work with the department director on the issue.
Okay. So you can take my advice or not. Here's my friendly advice.
Okay.
Don't post anything on Facebook. Let me try to figure this out within the next few hours. You know, he's not going to meet with you, and probably staff is going to be hesitant of meeting with you if they see stuff like the Dudley and Bob show and you posting on Facebook and stuff. It shouldn't be that way, but that's just the nature of what it is. But we deal with these issues quite often, unfortunately. And so if you'll just give me a few hours to try to figure something out, I'm happy to help. If you have any emails that you can send to us about conversations you've had with staff, if you have any decision points in those emails or any directions in those emails that you can share with us, please send them to our office.
Yeah, I really don't have anything because they've never put anything in writing. So, like, I have an email where I asked if I could add 6 inches to the fence because that would be in compliance per their explanation of the code. And I have a read receipt from Carl, but he never responded. And then his aide responded a few days later saying that he was willing to consider it, but then they never got back to me. And now Greg Guernsey from planning, he left me a voice message last night that he talked to Carl yesterday, and Carl said that he wants the whole gap closed in still. You know, and it's the only thing I have is the recordings of them saying to build the panels. They don't care about the gap. I mean, you literally cannot see anything under the gap. The trailer sits higher than the gap at the bottom of the fence, which is why they didn't care. And we have them closing the case last summer with pictures of the fence exactly how it is.
So what do you have that demonstrates closing of the case?
I have a copy of the report from the original complaint from over a year ago, where they say that it's closed per the supervisor. I mean, you guys should be able to look that up, right, in the database?
Sure. If you can give me the case number, I mean.
Yeah. Let me. This is the.
What's your home address? What's the zip?
78752, and I have a case number right here.
Okay.
It's.
Okay.
And in the inspection information, you can see at the bottom on 96213, closed due to voluntary compliance. Went to property to observe RV had been screened. Jerry Reynolds, who was the investigator supervisor, and me had agreed on screening. I did take a photo, and the photos are in your guys' system as well. Nothing has changed. And that's the other issue, is that nobody's ever complained. There's never been a complaint made about the gap on the bottom of the fence. This was opened back up again this past April. I took the trailer out and had a blowout, and so I didn't have the fence up. I was working on the trailer. And so somebody called it in again. It's, I know you know who he is.
Who? Oh, yeah. Yeah,
that's who's calling this in. And when the new investigator from Code for my area came out, I was there. I was there when he pulled up. And 30 minutes later, I sent him an email and said, hey, the panels are up. And then the next day is when he comes out and he says, I'm not accepting that. And I said, well, it was done per a supervisor. And he's like, well, that's not my supervisor. He's been moved to South Sector.
What's your email address, Matthew? Okay. I will copy you on all the emails that I send regarding this issue.
Okay.
Hopefully you'll stay in the loop.
I really appreciate it. They do like to take people out of the CCs.
Yeah, but I'll make sure when I reply that I'll loop you back in.
Okay.
Also, let me give you my cell phone number just so you have it.
Okay, let me...
You can call me directly on that line anytime. Doesn't mean I'll answer it if I'm in meetings.
Yeah, I got you.
But I will call you back.
Okay.
It's... Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
You bet,
All right, bye-bye.